Well, hey there. What are you doing under there? Same thing I'm doing, huh? You're looking at this Jeep. Still got the gas tank in this thing. We need to get that out of there today and lift this tub up and see how it's looking. So how about we do that? I got some drive shafts laying around, a couple of things that I need to get out of the way, but other than that, I think the top's ready to come off. Tub's ready to come off this thing and see what we see from the top. So should we do that? Let's get you out from underneath this thing. It's dirty down here. All right, well, there's nothing quite like a high lift jack to lift something up high. So we're lifting the body up to make sure that we've got everything disconnected. And we've got a vent tube for the rear diff back here. So I'm just gonna go around the corner. And there that little dude is. So that's just a breather for the rear differential. So I'm gonna pull that off. And we've got the right hand side or the passenger side all loose. Everything's good. The filler tube for the gas tank is here, so I kind of have the gas tank half off. I think what I'll wind up doing is maybe set a block or something in here to get me a little room to work, so I can reach in over the top of the gas tank and take the hoses off the line up to the front. And now I'll come around on the other side and jack it up as well and make sure that we're good. But there you see it. Frame is starting to show up. We're all off our body mount points. There's a body mount point there and one there, and there's one in the back there, and there's one right there, and there's one up there. So you can see what you've really got with the Jeep frame. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major body mounting points on either side of the frame. And that's it. So as we do this, if we do this, we'll put polyurethane bushings back on all those points, because you can see that oil is the villain of this kind of stuff, and this thing was spewing some oil around. So anyway, that's where we're at right now. As I mentioned, we're lifting the tub up off to make sure everything's disconnected. So I'll join you back in a minute. All right, well, I'm over here on the driver's side of the Jeep, and I've got, as you saw a minute ago, I kind of lifted up the passenger side. And sometimes, you know, when you're starting to actually remove a body, you have to just start to move things around a little bit and have a look at what you missed. So let's show you what I've got. If you're taking your tub off, you do have to get those radiator supports. So that's these two dudes right here. And then once we get down here in the deep, dark, grimy recesses, we've got the clutch pivot point there. And it looks like right down in there, I don't know if you can see it very well, but right behind where the steering column kind of is ending up is a little thing that's holding the brake lines in place. Let's see if I can point that out. So right there, I got some kind of a bracket holding the brake lines in place. And I think that will be it. So I'll get that clutch bracket off. That's this right down here. And try this again on this side. All right, well, as they say, don't try this at home, kids. So I've got the high lift on the corner of the tub, which, you know, if we were gonna keep this tub, we sure wouldn't want to be jacking right there, because that's just tin right there, you know, thin steel. So anyway, I'm gonna pause for a second. I'm gonna step around the jack, because you can see I'm kind of running short of room here. I got a piece of 2x4 there just to hold it so it stays up a little bit. But I'm going to show you, we got a couple more things holding us up here. So bear with me, we'll come right back. Okay, well, we're over here on the driver's side, and So looking underneath here, you can see there's a couple of vent hoses that go up there. So I've got to take those off. But then if we do a slow peruse through here, we have got everything pretty much disassembled. And when I come up here to the engine compartment, there's no real good way to do this, except what I've been doing is just kind of pulling everything forward just to make sure all this oily junk is disconnected. We got some stuff black taped together there. That's lovely. But we're disconnected, so everything's off there. You can see the clutch. Again, I just needed to take these two bolts off right here, and that released our clutch pivot point there. So that just went up there. And then a little piece of trivia here. Here's our original VIN number plate from the factory. So that's just riveted on there. And so I think what I'll do, if we're going to salvage this thing, is we'll pop that off. We'll drill out those rivets and keep that. There's another VIN number, not showing you very well, but they put the VIN number up here as well on the heater vent, or the defroster vent, or the bracket for the windshield wiper. And I've seen it on the dash in some instances, but this one has it up there and then on the front of the firewall here. So we'll try to preserve that so we keep our original VIN number. If we do part this thing out, I'm pretty sure we put a new carb on this too, now that I think about it, when we first got it. So we could sell that as well. But yeah, so I'll get those vent hoses off back there, and we'll be ready to drop this last chunk out of here, or have the tub where it would come completely off if we're ready to have it come completely off. So that's where we're at. All right, well, it wasn't all that exciting to watch because I was just up in there with both hands up in the thing, taking the, back in the corner here, taking this off, but I thought I'd just show it to you here. Step around here. So this is what we have here. That thingamabob and this widget here, and those go to the gas tank. So again, these two look like they're venting out of the tank, and then this one is somewhere going up to the pollution control stuff up in the front. So I did discover, just lifting things up, that there's one more thing. That bracket right in the middle there. Hopefully you can see that okay. So I got a shinny under there and take that off. And then that should be, I just missed that one. But I'm pretty darn sure then that when I get that off, that'll be the last of it. So the tub will then be completely disassembled. And we'll see if maybe I can, well, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but at least it'll be ready to come off. So there we go. All right, well, all my sweating and stewing and trying to figure out what to do, sometimes you just got to wait for a minute and the universe will work everything out for you. So here's what I'm talking about. You know, I've been going back and forth. Do I do the CJ-7? Do I do the CJ-5? Is it crazy to spend all this money? So I decided the other day to go ahead and do the CJ-7. So started down that road. The one thing I had not done yet was kind of find out lead times on anything. So I emailed the guys up in Montana that build the frame, and it's December right now and Christmas time. And I said, hey, you know, if I order this thing today, when can I expect to get it? And he basically said, if I order it between Christmas and New Year's of 2020, they'll ship it on April 9th or something like that. So January, February, March into April, 4 months, 3.5 months to get the frame. So I emailed the guys that do the tubs out in Ohio and said, what's the lead time on the tubs? And he basically said, you know, 8 weeks to get a tub. So that just sorted it out for me. Here's what I'm going to do. Since the CJ-5 isn't like a total resurrection, it just needs the tub and maybe something done with the engine. Probably ought to put a clutch in it, but other than that, it's got a good axle, it's got a good transmission, transfer case, all that stuff. And so I'm gonna switch things up and see if I can get the CJ-5 in the garage, get the CJ-7 out on the side of the house. And I've ordered the tub for the CJ-5, so that is rolling now in process, and I should be getting that it'll be on its way in about 8 weeks or so. So 2 months. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold off on the frame now for probably, we'll call it maybe a month, and get rolling along on the CJ-5, and then get the frame coming for the CJ-7. By that time, with the lead time on that thing, it ought to leave me enough time to have that 5 finished up and either driving or being sold or whatever, and then turn my attention back to the CJ-7. So there's the plan and the latest and greatest. So I got a lot to do right now, but at least now it's kind of like forward, the plan is rolling. So next time you see me, I'm going to be playing the shell game in the garage and the side of the house. I got to move a sailboat and the car and the Jeep out and the other Jeep out and back up in, and I'm thinking about that and how am I going to do it, and it's going to take a little bit of winching with the truck and yada yada. So it ought to be interesting or crazy, or I'll wind up with a whole bunch of dead Jeeps out in the middle of the road because my driveway's on a little bit of a slope. So who knows how that's going to go, but don't go anywhere. Stick with me and let's see what happens next week when we tear into that project. So that's going to wrap it up for now. Things are moving, and the next time you see me, things will really be moving. I'll be moving stuff around to get ready.